Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. In a world where fame rises faster than talent, one voice has chosen to stand still, to speak the truth others dare not. Just as July came to a quiet end, China's most enigmatic rising star, Wang Yibo, stood up, not for applause, but for accountability. Welcome to Star Watch Now, where we don't just follow celebrities, we follow meaning. Today, we unravel a rare moment when Wang Yibo broke the silence, sending a shockwave through the entertainment world. As the final days of July quietly faded, few could have predicted that one of China's most admired young actors would take the stage, not to celebrate his success, but to challenge an entire generation. Wang Yibo didn't appear under spotlights for glamour or applause. He stood there, steady and resolute, driven by a responsibility he could no longer ignore. What followed wasn't a speech, it was a quiet reckoning. Facing an audience filled with hopeful young actors, many of whom had grown up idolizing stars like him, Yibo didn't offer comfort. Instead, he offered truth. With eyes sharp and unwavering, he delivered a message that cut through the superficial charm so often plastered across the industry. He spoke with weight, not volume. Every sentence landed not as inspiration, but as confrontation. The work of an actor, he said, is not a collection of stylized poses or catchy expressions. It is the patient, painful search for honesty within yourself and within every character you inhabit. His words struck a nerve. Some faces tightened in discomfort. Others looked away. But a few, perhaps the ones truly listening, looked inward. In an era when popularity often outpaces preparation, his warning carried a deeper implication. That talent without discipline is noise, and fame without substance is temporary. He questioned the obsession with instant success, the shortcuts, the superficial roles played for social media praise rather than artistic growth. He asked, without accusation, a single haunting question. Are you truly giving your best to this craft, or are you just performing the illusion of effort? There was no judgment in his tone, only a heavy sadness, like someone watching a storm gather over a landscape he once loved. Wang Yibo was not only speaking to others, he was, in many ways, speaking to a younger version of himself. A boy who once believed hard work alone could be enough, only to realize that in this industry, it must be matched by unwavering values and emotional depth. His warning was not just for actors. It was a call to anyone tempted by the glitter of recognition to remember that true respect, whether from the audience or from oneself, is earned only when one chooses purpose over popularity. And in that moment, Wang Yibo reminded everyone that authenticity is the rarest kind of courage. Before the applause, before the fame, before his name ever trended online, Wang Yibo was just another hopeful face in the shadows. Young, determined, and utterly invisible. His early years in the entertainment industry were not painted with promise, but with disappointment. He arrived with nothing but quiet ambition and the belief that if he worked hard enough, someone would notice. But in an industry saturated with noise, effort alone is often drowned out by flash. He spent countless nights backstage, watching others step into the light he so desperately craved. Roles slipped through his fingers. Agents overlooked him. Directors saw him as unremarkable. And yet he stayed. Not because the industry embraced him, but because something deeper refused to let go. It wasn't hope. It was resolve. When his first major opportunity finally arrived, he poured every ounce of himself into it. He gave more than what was asked, emotionally, mentally, physically. But the result was devastating. The project failed. Critics were brutal. Audiences indifferent. And the cruelest cut of all was silence. The kind that follows when the world has stopped paying attention. For a moment, he questioned everything. Had all his sacrifice been meaningless? But it was in that silence that something unexpected took root. Without the distraction of success or the comfort of praise, Yibo began to rebuild. Not his career, but his foundation. He studied the craft. He watched films not as a fan, but as a student. He analyzed performance, voice, movement, rhythm. Slowly and quietly, he began to understand that acting wasn't just expression. It was empathy, control, honesty. He emerged not louder, but sharper. Not desperate to be seen, but determined to be worthy of being seen. His return wasn't explosive. It was intentional. And when the right role arrived, when he stepped into the shoes of Lan Wangji, it wasn't luck. It was the culmination of everything he endured in the dark. From rejection came resilience. From silence came skill. And from heartbreak came humility. Wang Yibo's journey from obscurity to recognition is not just a story of talent. It's a testament to what happens when someone refuses to surrender to failure, choosing instead to let it carve out a deeper, truer version of themselves. His light wasn't found. It was earned. In moments of collapse, when the world seems indifferent and the path forward disappears beneath doubt, it is not always strength that carries a person through. It is often the quiet, steady presence of those who believe in us when we can't believe in ourselves. For Wang Yibo, this truth was not abstract. It was deeply personal. When his early dreams were shaken by failure and ridicule, it wasn't the industry that reached for him. It was the people who loved him not for what he achieved, but for who he truly was. In the stillness of those dark nights, when he sat alone questioning whether to give up, it was his mother's voice that echoed loudest, not as a command, but as a promise. She didn't offer grand speeches or strategies. She gave him something rarer, unconditional belief. Her words, simple yet unwavering, "Son, don't give up. I know you'll find your way," planted themselves like anchors in his heart. They did not erase the pain, but they reminded him that he wasn't facing it alone. Equally important was the presence of a true friend, Lehua, who didn't try to fix him, but saw through the silence and exhaustion. Where others might have seen defeat, Lehua recognized hidden potential. He reminded Yibo that failure was not the end, but perhaps the beginning of something deeper. He didn't say, "Try harder." He said, "Remember who you are." And those words reached a place untouched by the noise of the outside world. Support, Yibo discovered, doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it whispers just loud enough to keep a person breathing, moving, standing. It doesn't erase fear, but it gives us the courage to face it. The encouragement he received wasn't dramatic. It wasn't visible to the public, but it was essential. Their belief became a lifeline, tethering him to purpose when success felt impossibly far. In the months that followed, those moments of connection became fuel, not just for survival but for transformation. Because when the people closest to you see your worth even in your lowest state, it becomes harder to throw that worth away. Wang Yibo's rise wasn't his alone. It was built on invisible hands that lifted him when he had no strength left. And sometimes, that's the greatest form of power, quiet, constant, and life-saving. The Untamed. Lan Wangji wasn't just a character, he was redemption, the result of years of invisible labor. This role didn't make him famous. It revealed who he had already become. He didn't stop there. Roles in Hidden Blade, Born to Fly, Ice, Rain, and Fire proved his versatility, from silent heroes to tormented souls. Critics who once dismissed him began to reconsider. He didn't buy the audience. He earned them. In his recent speech, the message became clear. Don't expect to last long in this industry if you only offer your face. This is not a beauty contest. This is art. And art will never bow to shortcuts. He reminded young actors that real emotion cannot be faked. Not on screen, not in life. Why does this matter to you, the viewer? Because Wang Yibo's message isn't just for actors. It's for anyone chasing dreams in a noisy world. Today, Wang Yibo mentors young students in underground theater workshops, quietly and without press. He funds acting scholarships for low-income youth across rural China, many of whom have never even seen a real film set. He's planning to launch an open-access digital archive, where aspiring actors can study scene breakdowns, character psychology, and emotional expression, free of charge. He doesn't want to be remembered as a celebrity. He wants to be known as a guardian of authenticity in an era of illusion. In a world obsessed with likes, Wang Yibo is obsessed with legacy. He isn't here to entertain. He's here to elevate. His journey reminds us, you may lose attention but never lose integrity. You may fail publicly, but grow privately. Good and evil? They're always being watched, always being counted, and in time, always rewarded accordingly. At Star Watch Now, we believe stories like this deserve to be told. Not for clicks, but for change. If this story moved you, even just a little, sparkles like the video, speech balloon, leave a comment with your thoughts. Pushpin subscribe for more powerful, real stories that go beyond headlines. This is more than entertainment. It's a reminder that character matters, effort matters, and truth always finds a way. Thanks for watching. Stay inspired, and see you in the next video.